It's actually one of my first times doing live on Instagram. I used to do love is a live on TikTok, but my account is banned, so we try Instagram. So my brother Jay is gonna come on soon, and we're just gonna have a chat with him because he's Palestinian himself, and see what he has to say. Inshallah. Um, I'll send him a thing, so see what happens. Accept. Assalamu alaikum, my brother. I'm
Walaikum
cutting my head off,
assalam.
so I need to kind of hold it up. Yeah, that's better, mate.
Sorry,
I
I'm
have,
in
I
the
have to
kitchen.
look good in that, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? I
yeah,
have to look good in
the lighting has to be.
that. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
How you doing,
I'm in
brother?
the
You all right?
kitchen. I'm
So,
good, alhamdulillah.
people who don't know, my brother Jay is from Australia, and
Yes,
what's the time there?
7 a.m., brother, 7
7
a.m.
a.m.
And it's
and it's Monday there. I know it's Sunday night here in the UK, and it's
yes,
Monday in Australia. So it feels a bit weird, and that, you know what I mean?
ahead
The
of
pause
time, ahead of
ahead of
time.
time, yeah.
Yeah,
Because that
ahead of
girl said
time.
in the video that um, how comes Australia is ahead of us, and that they don't know something that happens here. They should know before.
How's your Sunday going?
Yeah, good, my brother. So Sunday, what I do because I'll do the doors on Friday, Saturday nights. So I'm a bouncer,
Mm,
a doorman.
mm.
A bouncer is an old school word that we used to bounce people out. So a doorman. I think it's been paused on that. You know, I think his video's got paused. Yeah, accept him again. So he's all the way from Australia, brother Jay is. So might have some. Oh, you're right,
Yeah,
brother. You kind of turned
yeah.
off there for a bit.
For some reason, it kicked me out. It
It kicked
just
you out,
booted
yeah.
me out of the love. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It said no Palestinians here.
Well, they can try, but we always fight
Ab-
and that. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So what do I work on the doors Friday, Saturday nights, and so Saturday when I wake, Sunday when I wake up, then I'll just have to do my cardio because I'm getting ready for a bodybuilding competition because I do professionally bodybuilding,
Yeah,
and so I'm getting ready for that. So I have to do my cardio, everything else. Then I'll go to the gym, and then Sunday is more like my family day. So I see my brothers and everything else. So that's what I do. So it's just a certain routine
absolutely.
I follow, and that, you know what I mean. So
That's
what about you?
good.
And what do you do on Sunday in Australia?
Well, it was my
Yeah,
stepdaughter's birthday, so
yeah,
we went to lunch at my mother's.
yeah,
Sunday's
yeah.
family day for me. It's
Yeah, yeah,
it's it's a
always is,
fam.
always is. The
It's a,
weekend is like a family time to spend and that. And that's
absolutely,
very important, you know what I mean? So the weekdays is always busy, and I tell a lot of people to take that time out for your family is very important because
absolutely,
the time goes so quick with my kids and that they're young, and when they're older, they're going to start doing their own things, and when you pass away, your kids will only remember the good times you spent with them. So always
yes,
make the beautiful memories with your kids and that, and that's what I say to a lot of people because you can work hard, earn all the money that you can. The thing is, they're not going to appreciate that. They're going to appreciate the time you spent with them and that. You know what I mean? And it's very
absolutely,
important and that. So,
absolutely.
brother Jay, I love your podcast. It was an amazing podcast.
Thank you
I
very
don't know
much.
how I come across it, and I thought, wow, this brother's good. Then the more I researched, then I watched it, I realized about your background. So, like the people who are watching, tell us about your background. Because so people can connect with you, where you're from, and
Yes,
everything else.
yes, yes, yes. So I am Palestinian Iraqi, born
Yeah,
and raised in Kuwait,
yeah,
exiled from, well, my mother's side was exiled from Palestine
yeah.
before around 1948.
Okay.
My great uncle was one of the football players on the Palestinian football team and one of the first people to get executed
Really?
during the first Nakba.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, a child of war, really, raised in war. And
So
we were lucky
you
enough to
were
get out.
there when all of this was going on. You were there. You saw everything when you were there. Everything
During
was going.
during the Gulf War, yeah, absolutely. The first
Yeah, you
Gulf
were
War, the
there, mate. Yeah,
Lebanese Civil War.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We were there.
yeah.
Bomb shelters,
Really?
lining up for food, all of that.
Yeah. So you
Yeah, absolutely.
experienced everything and that.
So when you talk about these things, it's through experiences. Like, you know, when we talk about these things personally, what we see.
Mm.
But I think personally, when the person's been through something, is a totally different vision of you know, what we talk about and stuff like that, you know. And for you personally, when you talk about these things, I can, because it's a personal thing, isn't it? Like
Mm.
it's personal to
Mm.
you. And you know, a lot of people been really blind to this situation because personally, I knew about what was going on, and I've talked about it before and stuff, but not to this stage because it's never come to this stage, and that, you know what I mean? That, like, you know, it was before they used to go in there, do their thing, then stop for a bit, then go in there, then do, you know what I mean? But to this limit, it's crazy. For me personally, like the way I look at things, that if Allah's blessed you with a platform of voice, you should always use it for good reasons and that. You know what I mean? You can't ignore something wrong when something's wrong is happening, and doesn't matter what it happens, and you know, always speak up about it. And I think like what is done with this, people all around the world has brought us close
Mm.
together, you know, to talk
Mm.
about these things
Mm.
and that. So that's what it was. But another thing I want to ask you, you got a lot of experience in that in certain situations. So personally, I don't really know about the Zionist mindset.
Mm.
What is Zionist mindset? What is their mindset? I want to know, because the thing is, I think there's Zionists there, but they don't even know they're Zionists. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's a systematic brainwash, really,
Yeah,
that they're raised on a certain system that they are more superior than everyone
is
else.
it?
That the land was promised to them by God, and it's
Yeah.
their given right to take it.
Mm.
And even when I talk to, same with you, like you put out content and you get, Jews commenting in your comment section. I get a lot of DMs
Yeah.
of people that have the whole history twisted,
Mm.
right? They
It's like
have
one-sided. They're not open-minded about it. They're just one-sided,
100%,
one-sided about it.
100%,
But but do
100%.
you think there's like with us, like, you know, like you're from Palestine yourself, and you got the Zionist people, the Jewish people, they
Mm,
are in. But for us living in like out of the country, we see everything from outside. So
mm,
it's easier because when you see a situation from outside, you can see what is going on, what is happening.
mm,
It's easier for us to see who's bad, who's good, what is right, what is
mm.
wrong. But with people like that, do you think they just have one mindset and that's the way they are? No matter what they say, anyone say to them, they say, "No, you're wrong, we're right." That type of mindset they have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. As well, it's not only the brainwashing or
yeah,
the belief. It is zero humanity. It
mm,
is, I try to talk to people and explain to them that Gaza is controlled by Israel,
yeah,
and they're like, no, it's not. No,
mm,
no, it's not. It's not controlled. Hang on a second. It's an open air prison,
yeah,
and the Israeli government controls everything that comes in, comes out, electricity, water,
yeah,
the rest of it, the internet.
yeah,
Even food substances are banned in Gaza.
yeah,
Things like coriander,
yeah.
for example.
Why
Coriander is
is
a bad
coriander
substance.
banned there? That's what I don't understand. Why is it
Mm.
banned?
It's simply systematic to make life difficult for
Oh,
everyone in Gaza.
really? So it's just like they
Yes.
always have that
Yeah,
control over it. Uh,
it's a chokehold. It's a
yeah,
really big chokehold. So yeah, sharing the point of view of listen, just let me say something.
yeah.
We are very much 100% not anti-Semitic.
No,
I have
100%, hundred
I have
percent,
I
hundred
have
percent.
Jewish friends. This has nothing to do with the Jewish faith at all. This is we are 100% against occupation,
Yeah,
and we are 100% against uh, the control. We believe in equality. We believe in justice for all. We believe in one country where there is no apartheid state.
yeah,
Jews, Muslims, Christians, everyone living
yeah,
together the way it is.
yeah,
Now, when I say this to someone that's from a Zionist, for example, they're like, no, no. Everyone there wants every Jew wiped off the face of the planet.
mm,
And this is the belief that they've been fed.
yeah,
And I feel like this belief has been fed to them so their government can justify what they do in
yeah,
Palestine and the West Bank. Since the 7th of October, there's been over 600 arrests in the West
Mm,
Bank alone. Sorry, 6,000 arrests in the West Bank alone.
mm,
This has nothing to do with
yeah,
Hamas. This has nothing to do with Gaza.
yeah,
These are illegal settlements that are taking over the West Bank,
yeah,
kicking Palestinian families out of their houses. These houses have been owned by Palestinian families for hundreds of years.
mm,
Olive groves and olive trees being burnt down, and these olive trees are thousand, some
yeah,
olive trees are over 1,000 year old.
yeah,
So it is a system that they're raised on,
yeah.
and you'll never hear me or anyone say, "Oh, we want all the Jews dead, kill the
No,
Jews,
no, I've
burn the
never
Jews."
heard that. That's the
I've
thing. Like
never.
when people say that, I've never heard that. As Muslims, we don't believe that as
We don't
well. Like we don't
believe
believe
that.
in that because like you can't take an innocent person's life. I don't know
Absolutely.
how they twist and turn things around and that, but the
Mm,
thing is we don't believe in that. There's no way that we can believe in that. There's no way we can agree with that, that we want to wipe everything out. Like the thing is, I think that what they need to do is study our religion first and know that what we
mm.
stand for, you know what I mean? What we stand for,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's funny you said that, Taj, because a couple of days ago, I had someone DM me and say, Islam is the culture vulture because you guys stole, the religion. And I was like, that's an absurd thing to say. That is crazy.
Yeah,
If you know anything about religion, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism are all Abrahamic faiths.
yeah, yeah. We all similar in certain ways. We have some similarity in
We
our
all believe in the
religions and
same
that.
God,
Yeah, yeah,
just in
and that's
you
it.
know.
Like our paths are different, but it leads to one God and that we all believe in, and that,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? And that's what it is. That's what I believe in,
And
and that's why, yeah, that's the way I look at things and that, you know?
and the conversation that went on was, oh, you guys stole the prophets. You guys stole. I'm like, we
They think
don't,
we
we
steal
didn't.
everything in it. They think we're
Yeah,
still.
we didn't steal the prophets. We believe in the same prophets. It's very different.
I
We
know,
believe in
I
Moses alayhi
know.
salam. We believe in Jesus
Yeah,
alayhi
yeah,
salam.
yeah.
We believe in all the
Wasn't
prophets.
that
And people think,
wall? There wasn't that wall built. The Jewish people prayed to.
yeah, the
Wasn't it
wall of
built by
David.
a Muslim person who built it for them? And that I heard
I
that.
I really can't confirm that. I really
Mm,
can't. But it is a very, very important shrine for Judaism, same as the
yeah,
Church of Bethlehem
yeah,
is very important church, the Christian
yeah,
faith. And we have the Gold Dome. We have the Dome Mosque, Al-Aqsa,
yeah, yeah,
which is very important for us.
yeah,
And I think, I really think it's time that humanity moved
yeah,
forward and stopped massacres, stopped the
yeah,
genocide, stopped the killing.
yeah, 100%.
Um, I always, I always feel like, you know, we've come to a point in life where humans, since World War One, are just tired of war.
100%.
Um,
I personally think war doesn't sort nothing out. I personally think it doesn't.
Everyone loses
The thing is,
in war.
all I say in that the governments, uh, like they're just for them people are just numbers. Like they don't care
Mm,
about people.
mm.
You know what I mean? And all innocent people die in wars. Like if there was like like with me for my personal view, working on the doors and stuff, when two people are starting a fight, and I think, look, guys, if you two fight, you're just gonna hurt each other. Let's try to sort this out and we can deal with the situation because none of us are going to get hurt and it's going to come into the same thing. You're both going to sort things out and that's it really. It's always
Absolutely.
try our best to make peace. Like sometimes like where I from the village in Pakistan I'm from, what the people do is if they kill one person, then they kill the other person, family member, then they just keeps on continuing till one
Yeah,
of
yeah,
them
yeah.
puts their gun down and trying to make peace. Then after that
Absolutely.
everything stops to that, you know what I mean? But the thing is with this situation is like back and forward. And the thing is like I spoke to you on the phone and that like people say that like because we're Muslims we're sticking up for Palestine. No, we're not sticking up for Palestine because we're Muslims, we're sticking for humanity. And this is what I
Exactly.
say to a lot of people, and this is my belief. If this was the other way around, if Palestinian was doing the same thing to the Israelis, will it be exactly saying the same thing? You know what I mean?
100%. 100%. I say if the occupation was Muslim, we'd be against
Yeah,
them.
100%. 100%. I don't believe in stuff like that. I don't believe in it because Islam don't teach us. Islam teaches
No,
always speak the truth. No matter what happens,
uh,
always speak the truth. Stand for the truth.
absolutely.
Yeah,
And that's why I try to raise awareness that it has nothing to do with religion. This is not a religious fight. We are
yeah,
not against Judaism or Jews or anything like that. We are against occupation. We are against the apartheid state,
yeah.
and that needs to stop. That needs to stop.
100%.
Especially now. Yesterday, the news came out that the UK, Australia, the US are stopping their funding for UNRWA.
Yeah. But that's
This is
after the ICJ court rulings, isn't
absolutely,
it? Yeah.
absolutely.
Mm.
And straight after the ICJ ruling, the same day, Israel released a statement that UNRWA staff are involved with Hamas. So the major countries from the West have paused their support to UNRWA. And this is devastating news.
Yeah.
This is devastating news because UNRWA is,
It supports a lot
it,
of them, innit, inside there. Yeah, supports a
huge
lot.
support,
Yeah,
huge.
huge
There's
support. Yeah.
schools built by UNRWA. There's
Yeah.
hospitals built by UNRWA. There's support, food, fuel, so much things that the Gaza population depends on, and now it's getting cut off. So they have maybe 2 to 3 weeks of supplies left. And then it's a dire situation.
The thing is,
Um,
I personally think that with that situation, that they have to look into it, and if everything comes out clear, it's just going to make Israel look even worse, to be honest. And this keeps on happening. They keep on saying these things, and they keep on doing
Absolutely,
these things. It's like a childish mindset. I don't know what they're trying to do. And the thing is, when
absolutely.
people look into it, they say there's nothing in there. Like, why did you say this? So the thing is, all they do is make themselves look bad. Like people are telling them stop killing innocent people. They say, yeah, we're not killing innocent people. The next day they shoot someone and waving a white
Yeah.
flag. You know what I mean? It's just like
Yes.
it is. I don't
That's
understand. Like if someone tells you, like we're watching you, what you're doing, so just be careful what you're doing.
it's
Just calm down. They'll be like, yeah, yeah, we're
hypocrisy,
trying to
isn't it?
calm down,
It's
but they're just getting worse. You know what I mean? Like
it's
they're making the
hypocrisy.
situation worse for themselves. And like I said to you, the worst enemy for them is social media. Social media is the worst enemy for them.
I,
You know
I
what I
think
mean?
I think I think in the movement that we've created, and the power of social media and having journalists on ground zero, such as Marquez, Bisan, other content creators that are sharing the truth,
Yeah,
has really amplified and woken up a lot of people to what's happening in Palestine.
yeah, hundred
Um,
percent.
there's a huge number of people that have had their information given to them by mainstream media, CNN, Fox News, and the rest of it,
Yeah,
Channel 4, whatever people are watching, and they're fed this wrong narrative, and people forget that you know one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter.
yeah,
This is a very important point to raise up.
yeah.
But I'll give you an example which people completely miss in history. The Taliban
Paid
were
by the
biggest
uh,
terrorists in the world. But if you watched Rambo 3,
yeah,
he
yeah,
was
yeah. They were
fighting with the Taliban.
I know, but the thing what was the British leader, the lady? She went there and talking to the Taliban that we're gonna give you money to fight the Russians and all this
Yep,
that. That's
yep,
that speech. I
yep.
think Loki put it up as well.
And
Um,
and they
it's
were
crazy.
hailed as
Yeah,
heroes, as freedom fighters, defending. And then they were the worst terrorists
that they
humanity have seen,
attacked
and
him. Yeah.
because of Taliban, 1 million died in Iraq. Just quickly, I just want to comment. Someone left a comment. Um, when I talk, well, we've been sharing activism and our points of view against all wars around the world, not only
Yeah,
Palestine, whether it's the Ukraine-Russia war, whether it's Somal, whether it's Sudan, um, Congo, any genocide, any war has to stop.
yeah,
This has been amplified a lot more, and we're doing a little bit more and talking more about Gaza. It's because it's been going on for 75 years.
And there
it's
hasn't
not
been that many killing in such a short time as well. Do you know what I mean?
absolutely,
Yeah,
it's
that's the
not
thing.
something that has
Like,
started
think
on
about,
this.
like I'm saying to a lot of people, think about 12,000 children are once dead
Mm,
on the whole ground. It'd be like the whole town is full of dead kids.
yes,
You know what I mean? And that's
yes.
the way to look at it. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So the thing is just like if they were attacking just Hamas and trying to, trying to save the civilians, but they're not. They're like in our face. They're like, we're gonna do this. You can't do nothing about it. They're
mm,
wiping everything out, and they're just doing it to our face. So we
yeah.
can't stay quiet about things like this. You know what I mean? Like, how can you
No,
stay quiet about it?
it's
It's a
hard.
horror.
It's hard. I think
It's a like a horror. Like you watching a horror film that you know what I mean. That is happening in real life. You know, that's
absolutely.
what it is. That's what it is. There's no way around to explain it. Like because there haven't been anything like this. And if they say they're trying to talk about 7 October, how many more they've killed? Like 100 times more. Well, 100 times more people in Gaza. What happened in 7 October?
Mm,
Like you know what I mean? It just doesn't
mm,
balance up.
mm.
It doesn't balance up at all.
No, no. As well, you've got to think
Yeah,
past what's happening. For example, there's no even kids in Syria, kids in Iraq. There's a huge number of
yeah,
orphans. There's a huge number of people that are going to be raised that can't read and write,
yeah.
that will not have any opportunity, and this only fosters more of the same cycle,
100%.
the hate and the intent of growing up and creating something that will bring revenge back.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very dire situation. It's very sad, and you know, it's a good thing the world is waking up, and I think
Yeah.
Israel's hold on the situation is slipping. I think the Bibi Netanyahu government is done. It's finished. It's he's holding on to threads.
Yeah, but the thing is, like with me, the way I look at it, I know you look at it this way because I think the Palestinian people are victim in this, so are Israeli people because the way they've been brainwashed and stuff and that they are victim to it as well because they've been fed the lies, you know what I
Mm,
mean? And now they're seeing the truth and what you call it, now they're seeing the truth and that's why you see loads of protests. I think you saw the police attacking the civilians, Israeli civilians, you know what I mean? So all of this is going on and I personally think that like yeah, all about, but it's brought so many people together that like
mm,
with me I think it's drawn a straight line and it's put the good people to one side and the bad people to the other side and that, you know, and
exactly.
that's what we're going to do. Like the thing is like there's even in Islam you've got people that have you know different type of beliefs and that believe in Islam, but they have different things about them. That they're putting everything to aside, and all of us standing together. The Jewish people are standing with us. The real Jewish people are standing with us.
Absolutely.
The Christian
Absolutely.
people are standing with us. Everyone is just brought everyone together, and this is about nothing else. It's about humanity and talking about humanity. And the thing is, it just shows the power how when people get together when everyone gets together how much power we have, you know.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I think with like this is why everyone is doing a u-turn, even the media is doing a u-turn because they can't cover the lies no more. The
You
government
can't
can't cover the
justify it.
lies, yeah, because
Taj,
like
you
they
can't justify it. You
that's
can't
what I
justify
mean.
what's
Like
going on.
they might say like they say in news they can't lie about something because on social media the truth will come out. They're thinking
Absolutely.
like we have to tell the truth now because people are going to think that we're lying, you know what I mean?
Mm,
And they want to be marked as that. Like this is example I'll give to a lot of people. If you have a best friend who
mm,
always does something wrong and you're trying to cover up for him all the time, like you're trying to cover up for him, that's time and time,
mm.
and he keeps on doing the same thing again and again and again,
How
and you go to look,
far?
mate, like I can't cover up for you all the time because people are going to think I'm involved with you as well, so I need to
Absolutely.
back away, you know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
this is the whole thing, and I think the US and England is doing the same thing. They're thinking like, mate, we're telling you to calm down and sort things out, but you're not listening to us, so we're going to pull away because I think our own people are going to turn on us because
It's really,
we
yeah,
can't support you no more. And this is what's happening with all sorts of
absolutely.
things and that. You know what I mean? So this is what I think. But what did you think of the ICJ ruling and that? What did you
I think it was
think
a
of the outcome?
historic moment for us.
Yeah.
I think it was a great outcome. I know a lot of people lost their minds because the word ceasefire didn't
But
come
it
out, but
came out in a different way, though, to be honest, didn't it?
absolutely,
I
and
think
there's
you're, yeah,
reasons behind
yeah,
this.
yeah,
There's absolute reasons behind
yeah,
this. A ceasefire means both parties have to stop.
yeah,
This is not a two-party war. This is a one-party war.
yeah.
So I think it's a great
And
result that
that's
come
why I
out of the
thought about it
ICJ.
because, yeah, that's what I thought because, like, when they say the way they said it, no more killing of the people,
Yes, it
yeah.
has to
So,
stop.
yeah, yeah, it has to stop. So I think that was more powerful than saying the ceasefire word because I think when it was said, people didn't really get it. But when you go through
The
the
transcripts of it all.
yeah, yeah, and it just kind of explains everything much more better. But like,
Absolutely.
but the thing is, I'm telling you one thing that Israel's not gonna, well, they're not gonna really listen. They're just gonna make things worse. And you know what I mean? That's what's gonna happen. That's what, and I think South Africa knows that. Like
Yeah,
they know that
yeah.
this is
I
what's they're gonna do.
I think the ICJ, it was a great movement. I think, and South Africa stepping up and doing what it did was amazing for
That was
humanity,
amazing,
and
and they
it
made
was
history. That's the thing. People be talking about
absolutely,
this for years. The people be talking about
absolutely.
this for years, and that, you know what I mean. And the way they did it, the way they put the case out, the way they were prepared for it, it was just amazing. The way it was done. Seriously, it was
And
beautifully done.
this will take time.
Of
Genocide
course, it
cases take time.
does. They have to be
Um,
100% about it. They
Absolutely,
can't just. You can't
there's a lot of
just.
investigations that will go on, but I think that the most amazing thing, Alhamdulillah, is the way it was brought to everyone's attention,
Yeah,
and that now there is a case,
yeah.
and Israel has to defend their case. This is really important, and ICJ was a win.
Of course
For sure
it
was a
was.
win. It
Of
was a
course it was.
massive, massive.
It was beautiful. It was
Um,
beautiful. All the most judges and that voted with South Africa. You know what I mean? And that was such a. It gave us hope. All of us gave us hope. There's still humanity there.
it's a
You
great
know what I mean?
historic
And yeah,
moment.
yeah, yeah. Very, very amazing it was.
But
And that.
something needs to be done now
Yeah,
because
yeah,
people are
yeah,
being killed. Absolutely, something has to be done now, and that's the push of to stop the killing, stop
yeah.
the bombing, stop the shelling, allow aid to go in because right now Gaza is being
I know.
starved.
No, it was
Um,
in 95% of the world starving people
yeah,
come from Gaza, is it?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
And they've they're resorting to some horrible
yeah,
means
yeah.
to create something to eat
Mm.
for everyone, and they're down to less than one meal a day per
I
person,
know. I know.
which is sickening. It's a famine, and besides this, the spread of disease will start to
Yeah.
take over,
Of course it
and
will. Of
there's
course
going to
it
be
will.
a lot more deaths, and I feel like it is absolutely heartbreaking, because you feel so helpless, Taj. You
I
feel
know,
so
because
helpless.
the thing is, like, your hands are tied up. Our hands are tied up,
Mm,
but we can talk from our mouth, but we can't do nothing. You know what I mean?
nothing, no,
That's the thing, and
nothing.
that's why a lot of people come on here, express their feelings and that. You know what I mean? And like sometimes, like you see a lot of people being angry, like because they feel it. You know what I mean? So that's why a lot of people need to understand that like our hands are tied up and we've seen all this things that are happening and we can't do nothing about it. Like I'm just saying, if someone's here hurt, you go there, will you help them out? You know what I mean? Someone's fainted, or you give them first aid, put them in the recovery position, whatever you need to do. You do it there and then. But these people, we can't do nothing. All we can do is pray for them, donate for them, and put our voices out there. You know what I mean? It's very, very frustrating. It's
Absolutely,
very frustrating, and that, yeah.
it is very frustrating. Absolutely. How can we help? Look, there's a number of initiatives, and I think the number one way people can help is by donating money.
Yeah,
Um, I've tied myself with a non-profit organization here in Australia called Community Care Kitchen, and we raise awareness and raise funds for Palestine. If anyone wants to help out, you can head over to my profile. in my link tree, and you'll find a couple of things that you can help out. But I think the main thing that we should be doing is continuously talking about Palestine and
Yeah,
Gaza. We cannot
100%,
stop talking about this. We
100%.
cannot stop sharing the stories, the images, and it's hard. I completely understand it's hard to open up your Instagram every day and all you're seeing on your feed is children dying, famine, suffering, kids sleeping. Like yesterday, there was that viral picture that went around, the two kids sleeping in a puddle of water inside a tent. And it's devastating to see stuff like that. Absolutely horrific to see something like that. But we cannot stop talking
But the thing
about
is,
this.
that gives you that motivation that you need, that fire in your belly. You need that. You need that
Absolutely.
when you see something like that. It gives you that fire in your belly. Like I spend hours. I spend hours
Yes,
going through, trying to find things and trying to edit them, just to put message out there for the people. And the
absolutely.
thing is, like with me, the way I look at it is like I don't want to force my views on people. I want people to think for
Mm,
themselves. That's what Allah's blessed up with a brain. That human beings are blessed
alhamdulillah.
with brains and that because we are the creation of God that we can think for ourselves. So I want them to see everything and think for themselves and that and think what is right and wrong and speak up about it. A lot of people don't know about it because, to be honest, they just watch media, they watch TV, and they don't watch anything else. They don't do their research. And this is the truth. This is the way I look at it. If we didn't have social media nowadays, yeah, and the thing is, we saw the attack on Israel happened, we would believe whatever they said because no one would show us what really happened. You know what I mean? But with the
Mm,
power of social media, we can see these things. We
absolutely.
can, you know what I mean? And a lot of people don't use social media, don't look into these things and that. They just want to be getting on with their life. They just like want to close my eyes and want to get on with my life and that. And that's the way they
Ab-
are. You know what I mean?
yes. Yeah.
That's the way they are.
Absolutely.
And I say to a lot of people that you can't just ignore things because
You can't.
today it's happening to them. Tomorrow it could be happening to us, and people will ignore us as well. Do you want people to ignore us?
Absolutely.
No. So always, I think, always speak up about things like this. Like with my situation, I mean, I got suspended from work. They put me in the newspaper as
Mm,
well because of my videos and stuff, trying to say whatever they want to say. But I got clear out of it, and the thing is, it never stopped me putting the message out there because I know I was standing for something right, and you know what I mean. And I always will do.
I
That's the
feel,
whole thing.
I feel history is going to judge this the same way the Holocaust was judged,
Yeah,
for example. Which side of history were you standing on? And after the Holocaust, you know, the whole world said enough is enough and
yeah,
never again. And when the world said never again, it's never again for
yeah,
everyone, not only for the state of Israel or the
yeah,
Jews, but everyone. It's never
100%.
again for everyone, whether it's in Africa, whether it's in the US or Europe, wherever the wars are breaking out, it needs to stop. It's never again. You know, we need to think about the future of the next generations that are coming.
100%, 100%. And the thing is, like, human life shouldn't be taken so lightly. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Like, they're like, human lives are, people are getting killed, and it's just like
It's so
numbers.
cheap.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
human's life is so
yeah,
cheap,
yeah. It's
right?
just so cheap. And this is what I don't understand that this person was living a life like us and just gone away like that. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
wasn't his time up, and just his life was taken from him. And we just like think, oh, you know, it's just a number for us because we're not there, we're not seeing it. That's what we
yeah.
don't feel it.
Mm.
Like with me personally, I've seen people like because I was working in a shopping center and I saw a guy um took his life, jumped off a building. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And you feel it more because you just saw it with your eyes. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
these people in Gaza see things like this every day. You know
It's
what I mean?
heart-wrenching.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. Every
heart-wrenching.
day they see it, and that for us, like we only see a little bit of it, and we think, oh, that's so bad. But these people, they seeing things like this every day. The smell of dead bodies, the smell of blood. You know, you
Absolutely.
know what I mean? All these things and
Absolutely.
that makes a massive difference and that for the
Taj,
children.
you know, there's nowhere to bury people.
Yeah,
There's literally nowhere to bury people. You know, the IOF, and we say IOF because we say Israel Occupation
occupation.
Force.
Yeah,
You
forces. Yeah,
know, it's the IOF has dug up grave sites. This is major disrespect to the dead in all religions, in
Yeah,
all
yeah,
faiths, in all
yeah,
beliefs. Shouldn't be digging up the dead. The dead should be left
yeah,
alone.
yeah.
And this level of disrespect really hurts.
Of
It
course it
really
does.
does.
Of
It
course it
really
does. So the
hurts.
families and everyone else and that, it just,
It really hurt. Not only that, I had a couple of clips sent to me, and there's certain clips where you can't share.
you
You
can't
you
show. No, no,
literally
no,
you
no. Yeah,
can't
you
share
can't,
it
you can't,
because
you can't.
as much as we want to spread the awareness, Meta will block our accounts and finish our fight. But
Yeah,
I was sent these clips of cats eating decaying bodies in the streets.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and this is heart-wrenching,
I
Taj.
know, I
Imagine,
know, I
imagine,
know.
you
Disrespectful.
can't
It's
get
so
to the
disrespectful.
families.
Yeah,
So it's a hard time. It's a very hard time for humanity, and
yeah.
I really hope people ask themselves, which side of history am I going to be
I know.
standing on?
And
Because
and I personally
it,
think there's a lot of people out there that are putting their voices out there. And I think like people, a lot of people out there putting the videos up and like you doing that podcast saying them things. And the way you said it was very, very well explained. You know what I mean? And I like the way you
thank you.
explained everything and that. You know what I mean? It was really, really good. And the thing is, with things like that, it opens people's eyes. And I'll get a lot of messages from people like non-Muslim people, and I think they're the powerful voice because when Muslims speak about it, people say they're speaking about it because we're Muslims and that. You know what I mean? When a
Absolutely,
non-Muslim speaks about it, it's more powerful because they think this person don't have no connection to this. Well, why is he standing up for it? So it must be something not right. You know what I mean?
truthful. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
So the thing is, like, I get a lot of messages from non-Muslim people. They say, "I didn't know about this." They start doing their research and start doing the thing, then find out, and they says, "Oh, thank you," and it does mentally affect
Mhm.
them. Like it does. I think it has mentally affected me, but the thing is, I don't care because there's people out there going worse and worse than me, and
Absolutely,
I have to do something about it. I can't just go to bed and not do nothing about it. Like, you know what I mean? It just have to be.
absolutely.
Everyone has to play their part. Everyone has to play their part. And another advice I want to give to a lot of people, you said about the social media, and this is my personal advice to a lot of people who usually put their videos out there. Like, put videos out there, but be careful what videos you put out, how you use your
Mm.
voice. Really think about it because when you going into a war, you need to strategy. Like, you need to think what you're doing. You know what I mean? So this is what we need to do with social media. You can't just put a camera on and talk about your feelings and how you're feeling at that time. Really think about it because what's going to happen? You'll be the first person they will kill in a war, and you'll be the first person they will cut off social media, so they'll cut off your voice. And the thing is, we don't want that. Like
Absolutely.
with my TikTok, that's what happened and that. So like because I was putting things out there that I should have really thought about.
Mm.
And the thing is, then what they did, they took my account down. But inshallah, I'll get it back. I'm trying to get it back. But to be honest, my account is not better than any child's life and that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But the thing is the voice I had on there was very, very important to put it out there. But like that's why I say to a lot of people, always think about what you put out there and be more clever about it because your voice is very, very important. What you say, what you do, how you put it out there is very important. Just don't um, talk with anger and aggression because they will just shut your account down. Then you can't even put your word out there. So
Also, to be honest with you, Todd, I think we're past the anger point. I
yeah,
think we're at complete
I know.
heartbreak.
I know, and I think this is what the first everything started. I was more anger about, but now like I've come out. But
It's
the thing
heartbreak.
is, yeah, it is
It's
heartbreaking because
heartbreak.
it's been going on for
A-
such a long time.
And
That's the whole thing.
I even feel sorry for the kids on the other side.
Yeah,
The amount of hate that they're taught. I promise you, as a Muslim, I was never raised to hate any faith.
yeah.
My
Same as me.
parents,
Yeah.
my parents did not raise me to hate the Jewish faith.
Mm.
Not at all. We were raised to hate occupation. And not
Yeah.
only occupation in Palestine, as I said, the occupation worldwide. So, um, like someone just said in the comments, all Abrahamic religions are suppressors of women. The misunderstanding of
Yeah.
something
It
like
is.
this.
It is.
It's heartbreaking. I think what people need to do is understand faith has nothing to do with this. We need to remove faith
Yeah,
completely from
yeah.
the picture,
Totally remove faith from it. Yeah, it's nothing to do with
and
faith. Yeah,
put it on the side,
yeah,
and understand that this is strictly against occupation.
yeah. Well, it's on the land, isn't it? It's about the land, isn't it? It's about the land, taking the land, and that's the whole thing.
Like we
Taking the
said
land.
earlier, if the occupation was done by Muslims, I'd be against
Yeah,
it.
100% I would be. I think is in no way I'll be supporting
And
something
I
like that.
think I really don't think any Muslim was in support of ISIS, for example.
No,
Okay,
no, no.
I've never met a Muslim that said I'm pro ISIS. Everyone, like when ISIS started and came out, everyone was like, "What the fuck is this fucking circus act?"
I know. And the
Right?
thing is, you know where it is? The funny thing is, and this is what we see on social media, well, the media nowadays, is like if any Muslim well, we were 1.8 billion Muslims in the world, isn't it? That's how,
Yes.
yeah. So out of them, maybe 1% of them are doing certain things they shouldn't do, and they're extreme. That you get crazy people, you get certain people, but they want every Muslim to condemn that. They want
Yes.
every Muslim to condemn that. Like, mate, I don't believe in things like that. You
I
know what
got
I mean?
nothing
I
to do
don't
with it.
agree with things like that. What are you asking me for? But when it comes to any other religion or anything like that, they never do that. But when it comes to Muslims,
Mm.
like we're all responsible for
And
certain things.
I think we have to thank the Western media for that,
Yeah,
right? Arabs have been depicted as crazy war mongering people from the
yeah,
beginning of, I think, Hollywood.
yeah,
Every movie that has any terrorism in it or any kind of war backdrop, it has to do with Arabs wearing turbans, screaming madly, running, blowing up things. And
yeah.
I really think that understanding and image of faith needs to change. But
100%,
as
100%.
we've been saying since this live started, um, it has nothing to do with religion. I
It
really
doesn't. No,
don't
this.
care. I
But the thing
really
is,
don't
like,
care.
brother, like, when the 9/11
Yes.
happened, how, like, before that we had like such a good relationship. The Muslims, everyone had such a good relationship with
Mm.
like the non-Muslims. Everyone was getting on. When the 9/11 happened, everything twisted. I don't know how it was there,
Yeah.
but over here everything twisted because the media was saying Muslim terrorists. So they used to use saying Muslim first, then terrorists. So there, people in their head thought that every Muslim is a terrorist. In America, so many people were having a hard time. We were having a
And
hard time here. You know what I mean? It was
sorry
just
to
like that mindset.
sorry to cut you off, Taj,
Yeah,
but it's the same with Hamas,
yeah,
for example. And I always say this because one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter,
yeah,
right? Nelson Mandela was a terrorist while he was locked up for 27 years. When
yeah,
he came out, he's a
yeah, yeah.
okay. So I really think that Hamas itself, yes, Hamas has done atrocities, and 7th of October was a bad thing, but it was done out of choking a place.
Yeah. They
And
don't want to
Hamas
talk
is
about it though.
no, Hamas is a resistance. Hamas will always be a resistance. It's a resistance movement, and I think understanding that every war has to have a resistance. You cannot have
100%.
occupation without having a
Yeah.
resistance. And even if you removed Hamas, there'd be something else to come in
Another
Hamas's.
another group will raise up and are trying to do the same thing. It will happen. It will happen. All these
It's a
kids seeing,
resistance.
but the thing is, all these kids seeing their family getting killed and all these things happening, like is in wrong in every way. They're gonna grow up and they're gonna turn into something else. That's what will happen. So the thing is, the main
Absolutely.
thing is they need to find a way to end this. It's not like if we get rid of Hamas and this is going to be the end. No, this is not going to be the end of it.
If there was no occupation, there would be no resistance.
No, no. What they need to do, like, but the thing is, the worst thing is, and the funny thing is, people love Star Wars, but what is Star Wars about? What is Star Wars about? You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? What is Star Wars about? What is Star Wars about? It is like people say, yeah, you're like, Star Wars and stuff, but Star Wars is exactly kind of the same thing. People are getting occupied and
Absolutely, and there's a
killed and all sorts, and
resistance.
they're resistant group and that. You know what I mean? They're trying
Abs-
to, so, the thing is that with that thing there, yeah, like yeah, this is good, but when it comes to this situation, they're like, nah, man, this is bad. Like they want to go to the
Absolutely.
dark Vader side, but
Yeah, let's get to that side. Now,
dark side, yeah.
I,
See what I mean?
people say like you hear a lot of comments, and I get a lot of DMs saying, Hamas are a terror group, and Hamas did this, Hamas did that. Let me outline a couple of things. Hamas is the voted government in Gaza.
Yeah,
Hamas was supported by Israel to be against the PLO.
right.
Um, as well, Hamas have built infrastructure. Hamas have built schools. Hamas have built universities. Hamas has helped the people of Gaza a lot. And people have to understand that with every occupation, there is a
Yeah,
resistance. Take Hamas out. For example, let's talk about the West Bank for a
yeah,
second, where there is no Hamas at all. There's no Hamas there.
yeah.
But there is a resistance called the PLO.
Mm,
There is another resistance called Fatah.
mm,
And they're fighting their fight in the West Bank.
yeah,
So it's not all Hamas. It is an
yeah.
occupation. Wherever there is an occupation, there will be a resistance. It's that simple.
Mm,
And sorry, this isn't sitting properly. And as a resistance, you are looked at from one side as a terror group, absolutely.
yeah.
I don't condone any killings by any shape, way, or form.
100%. Same as me.
I
Same as
do
me. Yeah.
not condone any killing
Of
by any
innocent.
shape,
Yeah,
way, or form, but I do support a
yeah,
resistance. Okay, but Hamas is the only force to deal with atrocities by the Jew state. Let's continue.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, as I was saying, every war, every occupation has to have a
yeah,
resistance. And one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter.
yeah. But the thing is, all of this stuff will come out at the end, wouldn't it?
Mm,
Like all the truth will come out at the end, and then when everything is calmed down and everything now. But what do you think is um like what would you think what is the next thing do you think everything to like what is the next step like if the war stopped, yeah, everything stopped and that, what do you think people what do you think what should happen, like what is the next thing should happen, like for do you think the two-state solution is the best thing
mm,
for um Palestine and thing, and like you said, like stop the killing in the podcast when you're talking
mm.
in the podcast. You said stop the killing, stop the occupations, and just like the two-state solution and that. So, do you think that's the best
It's
solution for?
it's
It,
a very hard question
yeah,
for me to answer that,
yeah,
as I am not a person that understands
yeah,
politics very well.
yeah,
And I think I think number one, we need to go to 67
yeah,
borders. The 1967 agreement, the borders, and then go from there, I
yeah,
guess. But number one, let's stop the killing and equality for
yeah,
everyone. Stop the apartheid state, justice
mm,
for all, and everyone living equally together,
yeah,
whether you're Muslim, Christian, or Jew or
yeah,
Buddhist. I don't
yeah,
give a fuck what you pray to
yeah,
or how you, no one cares. No one absolutely cares. What we care about
100%, hundred
is
percent,
the killing
yeah,
stopping, and then we'll move from that point forward. It's very complicated. It's a very complicated situation. There
yeah,
is natural resources underneath Gaza. There's a gas well underneath
yeah,
Gaza that
yeah,
everyone's trying to get to. There is the they're trying to carve out a canal
yeah. I saw
for
that. video actually. Yeah, I saw
for
it.
boats to travel to through to compete with the Suez Canal. I think it's a very, very complicated
Yeah,
situation, but the first thing that needs to happen is the killing needs to stop.
yeah,
The war needs to stop.
yeah,
We need to rebuild, and we need to have equal rights for everyone.
100%. And I agree with
Justice
that.
for
I agree with that.
everyone,
Yeah,
justice for everyone, and then we decide as humanity how we're gonna move forward.
yeah,
Remove these governments of apartheid. Remove these governments that instill hate into people.
yeah,
And you know, here's the funny thing, and you're a security
yeah,
guard, and I'm sure you've met a lot of police
yeah,
in your
yeah.
work, right?
I have, yeah,
And it's funny when people join these government groups, whether it's the police, the army, your perspective and point of view is changed dramatically.
yeah,
You start to analyze things very differently, and I think that's a fundamental mistake. That's where we're going wrong.
yeah,
Is, this needs to stop. There is no right. There is no wrong. There's
yeah,
only death right
yeah,
now. And whether you're in Gaza or outside Gaza, there's only death.
yeah.
There's only death, and I think that's
But
what
that's the
needs to
whole thing,
stop.
and that's what, like I say to people. Look, the thing is, you don't have to like pick a side, but just look at the innocent lives that are getting killed, and
Mm,
that's all you have to stand up for.
mm,
You know, stop, just ask, stop the killing and let aid in. That's all you have to ask for. If you don't want to take sides and stuff, are you worried about? But the thing is, like you can see where they're not letting aid in, then they're still killing people, and every day they're killing so many people. Then you can see that for yourself. You know what I mean? And then how can you not not like how can you agree with something like that? You know what I mean? You can't agree with
absolutely.
something like that. But the thing is, brother, what I was going to say, if it's a two-state solution, what
Mm.
happens with the West Bank? And because there's like Gaza and West Bank are totally separate
Yeah,
areas, aren't they? So
that's the
yeah,
67 borders. That's
yeah,
the 67 borders. That would be Palestine with a few other bits,
yeah,
and it would be a two-state solution.
yeah,
But as a two-state solution, we should be allowed to have an airport, a
yeah,
port, allowed to conduct business and world affairs
yeah,
just
to
like any
grow,
other country,
to grow,
to
yeah,
grow and allow
yeah,
the
to grow,
people
yeah,
to have, by the way, other people of Australia are saying about what's happening in Gaza. I'm just answering a question here. If you go on YouTube and you just YouTube all the protests that are happening all around Australia, you'd get an understanding where the Australian people are and how they
yeah,
feel about this. Um, Again, I think everyone is with humanity.
yeah. That's it. That's it. We're
I
all out
think, I
here for
think,
humanity.
I
That's
think,
the thing to
I
say.
think that.
You know what I mean?
That's what we need to be projecting,
Yeah,
is that we're here for humanity, and the killing needs to stop. Whether it's a two-state solution, one country, if people were to ask me what is the perfect situation for this, I would say one
yeah,
country. Fuck the two-state solution. One country,
yeah,
Jews, Muslim, Christians, everyone living together under one country, everyone equal opportunity, and everyone gets justice, and everyone has the same opportunities as everyone else.
yeah.
So
Treat everyone the same. Like we
everyone
can
is
do it here. We can do it. You can do it in Australia. We can do it here. You know how many different religions people are there? We're still living together. We're still getting on. Why can't it not happen over there? Yeah.
absolutely,
Why can
absolutely,
it not happen over there? Like personally, like my brother went to, I had to go to the Asa Mosque, and I had to go there.
yeah,
Yeah, so he said to me that, and I've got a few friends that who I work with their families, they're Palestine as well, and he said to me that when you go there, the Israeli airport, the amount of checks they're doing stuff, like they go through your phone, all sorts of things they're
of
doing now. You know what I mean? And I thought,
course,
what?
of
They
course,
do that? He said, yeah, they go through your phone, look at your
of course,
contacts, and like, who's this person, who's that person, and they
of
treat you
course,
like you're nothing. You know what I mean?
of
So
course.
yeah,
There's also this right of return,
yeah,
which is given to all
okay,
Israelis, which means if you have any Jewish heritage in you,
yeah,
you can go to Israel and have a right to return, get the Israeli citizenship, all the benefits, get a house, get a bit of land that was owned by Palestinians that's given to you. Fantastic. We understand this. But here's my argument. All is Most Israelis I've ever met through my life are dual
Yeah,
citizens. So they came from one country to Israel and
yeah,
hold two citizenships,
yeah,
which 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 is destroying the whole thing, because you have people from, for example, Poland,
yeah,
who have no roots in Palestine, but just because they're Jewish from the faith, now they have a right to return.
mm,
Why can't I get the same right? Why can't all the displaced Palestinians around the world get the
yeah,
same right?
that's true.
Why can't I go and claim and get my ancestry land and house back?
Yeah,
You know, so Netanyahu's Polish by origin. Most of his government are
yeah,
Polish. You know, so I believe we need to get rid of Zionism
yeah,
as a complete mindset. Just, I don't know how you're going to cancel that, but that needs to be
yeah,
done with. I feel like that mindset is what's destroying the whole fundamental understanding of peace. So yeah, I feel like Ashkenaz Jews, which are European Jews, need to go back to Europe.
yeah,
Dual citizen US Jews can go back to the US, and Middle Eastern Jews stay there, and everyone lives happily ever after, I guess.
yeah. Hopefully, yeah,
Um,
true. That'd
but
be nice.
the idea of Judaism and you know, the idea of the right to return is what's you know, really, I I really can't understand this. I really
So,
can't
so the
fathom.
thing is, you know, like the people who live in Israel, the Palestinian people, you've got
Mm,
Palestinian families living there. What
yeah,
is their rights and all? What is their rights when living
they
there?
have
They don't have
no
really.
rights.
So it's
They
like
have no
two rights
rights.
anyway. Like
Yeah.
there's one right for Israelis, another right for
Yes.
Palestinians,
Absolutely.
and thinking and
Absolutely.
that. But how can the world agree with that? This is what I don't understand. And that. Like
And
if we
this is
had
why
that
we.
here, if we had that here in the UK, yeah, it'd be like the whole world would be talking about it. If you had that in Australia,
Mm,
that like you know a Muslim doesn't have the same right as a person who's
yeah.
Australian, the whole world would be talking about it. But why is no one talking about this? It's happening in Israel.
This
That's like
is the hypocrisy that the world is living in right now.
yeah. This is
This is
nuts.
the hypocrisy. This is the sad part. This is
Yeah,
the disgusting, sad reality that we're living through.
yeah,
Um, and it's really hard to fathom and understand how in 2024 there is still an apartheid state in this world.
yeah,
It's really hard to fathom. And once again, I always say, controls the world, right?
yeah.
It's
100%,
this it's
100%.
this
It's
that
all about
controls
this.
the
So
world.
always all about the money. Like life is not worth nothing, and it's all about the money and the greed. The greed and the money, I think, is the worst thing in that here on this world. Like
Absolutely.
a life is not worth anything. It's always the greed and the money and the government. The government is always after the money and the greed and the innocent people. The normal innocent people will just die, get killed, get hurt. Like you know, the Israeli people from Israel, they're just getting hurt and getting punished for something the government is doing, and
Absolutely.
the Palestinian people are, you know, I mean, the same, getting hurt by Israeli government because you know they're just in their own land. You know what I mean? It's
Absolutely.
just the whole thing in that. You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's been hard for everyone.
And I think a lot of
And
people who are born into Zionism, they're waking up and they're kind of realizing what are we following now is wrong. I mean, like I saw a few videos of soldiers who are part of IOF and that, and they were like, what they were doing? They were like, no, this doesn't feel right. This is
mm,
not what I supposed to do. Like, you know,
abs-
and the thing is, every human being knows, like, we all know what's right and wrong. I don't know how the others don't understand. But the
absolutely.
thing is, like, some of them wake up and then they start saying, like, I was like in this mindset that they put me in that I was doing something great. Then I found out the truth. And then he pulls away from it, and I start speaking
I
about it.
think I think as well, um, the point that confuses me very much is you have Australians, you have people from the United Kingdom, from the US, who go and join the IDF
Yeah,
and commit the atrocities that are being committed there, and then are allowed to fly back to the UK or the US or Australia, wherever they came from, and continue their normal lives. Now, if I was to leave Australia and go join Hamas
yeah.
for a couple of years,
Brother, you're right. I think it goes on for an hour, then it just turns off. I don't know why it does that. I don't know about these things because I've never done it. This is my first ever live
it's my
on.
first live ever on any platform, on any platform.
I'm a live Instagram live virgin. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely,
So so
absolutely.
so what were you saying about the
I
thing
was
is like
saying,
you
I was
joining
saying,
the
I was saying, Jews from all around the world go back and join the IDF
yeah
and fight in Gaza, committing atrocities,
yeah
committing things that the whole world doesn't agree with, but then are allowed to fly back to their respected countries.
yeah
If any of us, me, was to fly to Gaza, number one, I can't get into Gaza, but if I ever was able to get into Gaza and I was to join Hamas and fight the
yeah
fight.
yeah
I'd be labeled a terrorist. I'd lose my citizenship,
yeah
and I'd be crucified.
yeah
So, having said all those things, it's a very unfair world we live in, and the
100
scales are not balancing
100%,
correctly.
100%, 100%.
Um,
Like the thing is, there should be, if they commit crimes over there, they should be. If they come into this
Prosecuted,
country, they should be, yeah, prosecuted 100%. That
absolutely.
you can't just. And this is like, and this is serious, brother. Like with me personally, I don't believe in like. I never used to believe in like propaganda and all that stuff. I used to think people. But since this been going on and that, I've seen so much double standard. It's crazy. Like the Islamophobia I've been getting is
Yeah,
nuts.
absolutely.
There's messages from Zionists. I had about over 300 Zionists messaging me, threatening me,
Yeah.
and I said, "Look,
Oh
bring
yeah,
it on.
yeah,
Yeah, bring it on any time, mate. You know what I mean? So I don't care. I'm not, you know what I mean. So, but the thing is, it's just like because when I put videos up, it does get a lot of views, and they don't like that. They don't want people knowing the truth. Is just like why are you getting against us? This guy was sending me videos of what was going on. I said, look, mate, stop sending me old videos of somewhere else that happened in Iraq or something like
yeah,
that. You know, it's trying to make it look like. So the thing is, it's just crazy how angry they get. But the weird thing is just like. Since this ICJ court thing has happened, everything has just gone quiet. I done a video on it today. Yeah, I done a video on it today. It's so quiet today. Like since like you know what I mean? Because the thing is, they're trying to mark me anti-Semitic, and I
yeah,
personally done videos, 3 or 4 videos telling others not to be anti-Semitic because I'm so against things like that. I'm so against things like, don't treat people, everyone's not the same. If someone's from a certain country, certain color, certain religion, because we're all not the same. It might be one person, and you blaming the whole race for it. I don't believe in things like that. So when people even say things like that about me, it really upset me because I know I'm not like that, you know what I mean? But they're trying to mark me as that. In the newspaper, what it was, the weird thing was, they wrote a newspaper and they said town worker, because I work in a shopping center, a
yeah,
town worker been suspended putting anti-Semitic videos up. Uh,
yeah,
top the thing and that, and I was like, what? Then
yeah.
they called me into the well. The thing is, what it was at work, they called me into the office. They said to me that look, we got this. The newspaper must have got in contact with them, and
Yeah,
they said, look, we have to suspend it. I said, look, wherever it is, it is. It doesn't change my mind what I stand for, but
absolutely,
yeah, yeah. So
absolutely.
that's it.
I,
Like,
I think number one, we're blessed to be able to have the opportunities that we have and be able to spread the awareness that we're
yeah,
spreading.
yeah,
I think it's a blessing from Allah. Number two, this propaganda war that is going on is absolutely insane and mind-boggling. And I always say that we're blessed, to be able to share. what we like to think is the
yeah,
truth. I think the prosecution of people who are complicit with genocide and what's going on in Palestine will inshallah happen.
amen.
As much as yeah, I pray, I always pray that you know everyone gets to sleep safe and everyone gets to experience childhood. I never experienced a childhood. I
100%,
never
brother.
experienced a childhood, and you know, I look at kids, even my kids, and I'm like, enjoy your
Yeah,
childhood when you can.
yeah, that's it.
Really
And it
enjoy
makes
that.
it special, and it makes it special. Like
Absolutely,
it makes it special
absolutely.
because, like with me, my personal experience is like I lost my dad at a young age. I don't know
Mm,
if you saw my video that when I was in Pakistan, the burglars come to my house. I was only 9, then shot my dad,
mm,
and he was alive for a month, then passed away. So that gave me the mindset of like how hard it is for people growing up without a father, and there's
mm.
so many kids out there in Palestine without fathers, you know
Ah,
what I mean? And
without
someone took it,
fathers, without mothers.
yeah, and there's no one, like when you don't have your parents, there's no one really there to protect you, you know what I mean? Is a hard life, and like you say, like you look at your kids, and I say to them, enjoy your life, everything that you have, because when you go through them experience, or the experience you went through, that Allah had to put you through that for become who you are. For me, I had to go through what I had to go through for the person I am today. You know what I mean? And this is our
Absolutely,
journey, because the thing is, like, the way we feel about certain things and the way we look at certain things, a lot of people won't see it that way. You know what I mean? And won't have that feeling towards it. You know what I mean? So that's what makes it special. And like
absolutely,
my mum said to me, and this is my mum words and that, and I love my mum. My mum is really religious woman, and when the work thing happened, and she said to me, this is her words, is her son. Um, Allah does everything, don't worry about your job. You always speak the truth, no matter what happens,
mm,
and that's it. And that gave me even more motivation. Like,
absolutely,
yeah, and that is
absolutely,
true though. And the thing is, when you believe in your religion, and when you believe in that, nothing can stop you. You know what I mean? You know
absolutely.
what I mean? Because rizq is given by Allah. No matter what you do, rizq is given by Allah. And then the thing is, if you believe that, then Alhamdulillah,
Everyone gets their
yeah,
share.
yeah,
Everyone gets their share.
that's it, yeah.
Now, as much as I would love to sit on live with you guys and share more, maybe we can do this, next week. We can do the same
Inshallah,
thing.
inshallah. Yeah, let's plan
Taj,
something up, and let's plan something up
absolutely.
next week. And that was lovely.
It's 10 past 8 and life must go on, and I have a job to get to.
Uh,
It's early morning
I got
here.
to bed. I have to get to bed as well because I've got one more
Yeah,
meal left. Because I have to have six
yeah,
meals a day as a bodybuilder. Then
mashallah.
then then I have to get up at 4:45 to do my cardio, pray and
Uh,
read and everything else. So, Alhamdulillah,
Absolutely.
brother, it was a
Thank you
pleasure. It was a
very
lovely
much.
speaking to
Thank you
you.
very much.
And Alhamdulillah, I hope everyone enjoyed the live. And I saved on my thing, so hopefully I'll make a lot of short clips out of it. So
Absolutely.
we'll put it out there. So
Absolutely.
Alhamdulillah, yeah.
And
All right.
let's plan another one, and get some more
100%,
views and
100%.
questions from everyone that's in the live, and
Yeah.
answer a few questions. I know we couldn't get through many questions, but we're time restricted, and inshallah we'll do this again. It's been a pleasure.
Inshallah.
Thank you very much for allowing me on your platform,
Nah,
bro. I
nah,
really
brother.
appreciate
Anytime,
it.
man. Thank
I
you for
really
coming. It's a
appreciate it.
pleasure. Thank you, my brother. Take care, yeah?
Thank you,
All right.
Taj.
Assalamu
We'll
alaikum.
chat.
Assalamu alaikum. Take
Bye.
care. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
Take care.